Okay, we are live and we will start.
Yes.
Dr. Joseph Dunstan, can you keep your video on for some 15 seconds? Sir, are you there? I'm starting the webinar, sir.
Yes.
We are live. I would like to begin by saying integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching, said by C.S. Lewis. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone joining us today from across the world. I'm Rajula, the Regional Manager of Globethics South Asia, and I have the privilege of moderating today's session in this ongoing 5-day International Faculty Development Program on Research Ethics in Higher Education. This program is a collaborative effort between Globethics South Asia Center and National Center for Advanced Studies, Sri Lanka. We are encouraged and energized by the active participation of academics and scholars from over 25 countries yesterday, including Australia, India, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Oman, Bangladesh, Zambia, Sudan, Ghana, Sri Lanka, Germany, Kenya, the Philippines, Malawi, Tanzania, Iraq, Nigeria, Cameroon, Italy, Saudi Arabia, the US, Malaysia, Sweden, Japan, Canada, and Pakistan. Your engagement reflects the global urgency and relevance of ethical research practices. As a quick recap, this FDP is structured to help us understand foundational principles of research ethics, examine issues like authorship, data integrity, and institutional policies, discuss case studies from South Asia and around the world, promote an ethical academic culture, and learn directly from thought leaders and practitioners in the field. Today, it's my pleasure to acknowledge and thank Professor Prashanthi Narangoda, the Director of NCAS Sri Lanka, Dr. John Methusala, our post-curator, Dr. Joseph Dunstan, the former Vice Chancellor of St. Joseph University, Nagaland, is present in our midst today, and our distinguished speaker of the day, Dr. N. Ashokan, Dean Marcus Madurai, a well-respected academic leader whose work continues to shape conversations on ethics and higher education. We look forward to learning from his deep experience and reflections today. As we begin, may I invite each of you to briefly introduce yourself in the chat. Please share your name, institution, and country to build a stronger learning community. Questions and comments are most welcome throughout the session. Kindly post them in the chat box and we will address as many as possible either during or after the talk. A general but important reminder: to receive your FDP certificate, participants must attend a minimum of 60 minutes for each day of the program. We appreciate your active and consistent presence. The session recording will be shared with all registered participants after the conclusion of the full FDP. Once again, I warmly welcome each and every one of you to day 2. Let's continue to engage deeply, share generously, and to grow ethically in our academic journeys. Having said that, I take the honor to welcome Dr. N. Ashokan, an acclaimed academician, educational strategist, and lifelong learner, as our esteemed guest speaker. With a distinguished career spanning over 30 years, Dr. Ashokan has profoundly influenced the landscape of higher education through visionary leadership, innovative pedagogy, and institutional development. Dr. Ashokan holds a PhD in engineering education from the University of Madras and postgraduate degree in material science and physics. He has been instrumental in establishing 5 educational institutions and designing over 25 new academic courses. His work reflects a deep commitment to performance excellence, curriculum innovation, and leadership in education. An author of 6 insightful books, including a textbook on higher order cognitive abilities and empowering educators, mastering curriculum decision making, Dr. Ashokan combines academic rigor with the practical relevance. His research has appeared in reputable journals, including Springer Nature and VSIP Journal, and he has co authored international book chapters. Dr. Ashokan is a certified accredited for the Asia Pacific Accreditation and Certification Commission, a certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt, and the Tingling certified creator. He has trained over 34,000 professionals in topics such as outcome based education, NEP 2020, revised Bloom's taxonomy, and performance audits. He has also delivered over 250 keynote addresses and numerous webinar series. He has represented India on prestigious platforms, delivering international keynote lectures in countries including the Philippines, Malawi, and Ukraine, focusing on agile education, hybrid learning model, and teacher leadership. A recipient of numerous honors, including the Lifetime Achievement Award 2023 and the Best Educational Administration Award 2017. Dr. Ashokan continues to inspire educators with his systems thinking mindset and deep passion for academic excellence. We are privileged to have Dr. N. Ashokan with us and look forward to gaining from his rich knowledge and transformative vision for education. And he is here to address today. And let's virtually welcome Dr. Ashokan. And Dr. Ashokan, we warmly welcome you and please take over the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you for a detailed introduction about me. That a very nice introduction. That a very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, the participants from all parts of the world, and I'm very thankful to madam, and the organizers to give the yet another opportunity to interact with the teachers. So interacting with the teachers is one of my personal mission to help the teachers to improve their teaching competency and to help the people to develop the education leaders is my personal mission. So I'm once again thankful and grateful to the organizers for giving this opportunity. That just I would like to share my PowerPoint. So hope
Visible, sir.
yeah. So today's topic is the plagiarism and academic integrity, and especially on the research. Uh, Yeah, for next 60 to 90 minutes, I would like to discuss about the basically what is the definition of the plagiarism and what are the different types of plagiarism is there. And I want to focus more on why people go for the plagiarism. So just did little bit research on this, why researchers or why the teachers are going for the plagiarism. So I found so many reasons, but I would like to limit it with the major three areas where I feel that once people become master in these three major areas, and they need not worry about the plagiarism. This is what. So I want to focus more on what are the requisite qualities to avoid the plagiarism. Just I want to talk about that. So in that sense, first major my finding is that people want to develop this either personal mastery as well and or domain mastery. Whatever the subjects they are well versed or their area of specialization is there. In that, I would like to put it in two categories in terms of knowledge versus thinking process. Knowledge wise, this I expect every people to gain the metacognition level, that is the highest knowledge level. And this thinking process, yes, I want to have this whenever the people do the research and they want to do the original work, definitely they have this creativity the thinking process create is the must. So all these together put it into the matrix. I just want to define what is this domain mastery or personal mastery. And second one is basically this research is always going for solving the problems. Again, I want to, out of my own experience, I would like to define what is my definition about this research. And there are three major areas I found that while solving the problems, if the people are basically very strong enough on these three qualities, that is, what is the purpose, why I want to solve the problem, and basically what is my belief system I have built up over the period of time from my childhood days, and what is the value system I follow personally. These are the three important attributes which impact this research output. So these people, if the people are very strong enough, find out my mission, my purpose, why I do research, why I solve problem, what is the belief system I follow, and what is the value system I follow. If these three things are very strong enough, people need not worry about the plagiarism. This is what my small research did for last 2 weeks and find out that. And finally, I want to talk about this language proficiency is very, very important. That language proficiency, then you can able to develop only through reading different genre of books. So these are the things I want to discuss for next 90 minutes. Yes. So when you talk about this plagiarism, there is another gentleman is according to Fishman, plagiarism occurs when someone use words, ideas, or work products of others attributable to another identifiable person or source. So just I can able to list out that I don't want to read this because if you go to any website, it's already available that. This is a basic definition according to Fishman is given that. And second, if you want to go for this Stanford University, they have their own definition that use without giving a reasonable and appropriate credit to or acknowledging the author or source of another person's original work, whether such work is made up of code, formulas, ideas, language, research, strategies, writing, or other form. Again, if you want to refer this at the US Naval Academy, they have their own definition of plagiarism is there. The use of words, information, insights. They use the word insights. It's very it is underlined because insights is the normally we don't use in academicians. Are ideas of another without crediting that person through proper citations. And again, this Turnitin, of course, is another software, is a famous software for find out this plagiarism. They conduct a survey in 2015 among the students level when they want to submit the assignments or any work related academic work, and the university professors are giving to the students. So what are the things they do? They just turn it into listed out 10 different things they identified. The students are using the plagiarism in terms of all these things. One is this submitting someone work as their own simply without any correction, modification at all. That taking passages from their own previous work without citation. Of course, even my own work, I just put it in some other work. I don't want to mention my name, so that we call it as a self plagiarism is there. Rewriting someone's work with or without proper citations, using quotations but not citing the source, because using quotes is very, very important to give this impact among the readers. People are normally use the quotes and interweaving various sources together in the work without citing. That people may collect the information from different sources and put it in one document, that we call it as interweaving, people call, and citing someone but not all passage that should be cited. So these are the 10 different uh, plagiarism Turnitin is identified among the students communities. So if you know these are the things people are students are doing, then as a teacher you can able to you can be very conscious about what students can able to do that. So you may be alert when you are giving any kind of work with the students. So what I want to emphasize here, among this first definition, the Stanford University, Naval Academy, this Turnitin, all these things, now I come to the conclusion that the plagiarism does not have one definition. So if you have the university or education institutions, now it is your responsibility to define that what is plagiarism according to your department, your institution, your university. This is what I want to emphasize. Because if you Google it, what is the definition of the plagiarism? So many definitions are there. So many definitions are there. So I conclude that yes, in my educational institution, I want to say to my students or co-workers or my peer group people, I want to say avoid plagiarism. First, I have to define what is the definition of the plagiarism according to my department, according to my university, according to my educational institutions. This is one of the key takeaway. Please take about. Please define what is your definition of plagiarism. That's very, very important. That what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. You have to give very clear instructions. We should not go to Google or we should not go to Turnitin or any other software that, not like that. You please define in my institution, these are things acceptable. In my institution, these are not things are not acceptable. So the first takeaway is please define what is plagiarism according to your department, according to your institution, according to your university. That's very important. That the why does plagiarism matters? Because it basically, of course, this is academic integrity loses that, then we don't have the originality, creativity is not there, then you don't have any respect among the students, among your institution, among your professional group of people. So that is why the plagiarism matters a lot. So you have ultimately, if you do for plagiarism, the main purpose of pursuing a degree, main purpose of you are pursuing as a teacher, a researcher career, you don't have any learning process at all. That's a problem. That is a very important point. So if you what we expect, what is this society is expect from every researcher, every teacher, or every student is that the learning process has to taken place. That is why people are insisting upon your originality, insisting upon your original work. So without the learning process, we don't want to award any degree or we don't want to give any credit for the courses. We don't want to give any monetary benefit to the researcher, student, or teacher, whatever it may be there. So the missing the learning process is very, very important fact. That is why this plagiarism is matters that. Okay. And if the people identified that one or two cases, if you do plagiarism, definitely it affect the entire career of the any researchers. The entire career will be get affected. So in that sense, yes, the plagiarism is matters a lot. And why yes, if we begin the why people want to avoid this plagiarism. So they expect the people expected the original thinkers. Originality is very, very important. This because why I'll discuss later that because we want to solve the problems of the people. That's why research is happening. No, this we want to solve the problems of the people. So that's why we want original thinkers. What is your original idea? What is your original solution? How it be applicable to the local situation? That matters a lot, and expected to be an independent one, not with the independent idea is very, very important. That whether the idea is right or wrong, no, don't worry about that. When we are implementing the ideas to find the solution of the problem, even if you don't find the solution, no issues at all, no concerns, because you try your ideas, you are not able to get the answer. That itself, yeah, one kind of research output. So this is the problem. I try out this methodology to solve the problem. I could not solve the problem. That's itself, yeah, one of the fine research findings. So people do not encourage that. That is why people going for the plagiarism. So people want the solution for it, not necessarily. See, even if I don't find the solution, that is one of the research output. So please accept that that is one of the research output, process further so that you can able to avoid the plagiarism. And yeah, if you want to produce the highest quality, what is it again? The term quality education, quality is there. There's a lot of confusion about the definition of the quality. Again, I'm coming back to the basic fundamental. Out of my own experience, I define the quality. Again, the quality does not have any one single definitions. According to him, I put it in the mathematical formula, the ratio between what is the maximum possible I can able to contribute to what I contribute exactly, or what I have contribute now, but what is the maximum possible I can able to contribute. So that is in the denominator, in the numerator, what I actually contribute. that I can able to define my quality. So the quality is that's why talking when you do plagiarism, you are not unleashing your maximum potential, which means that you are not doing quality of work. So every human being having the highest potential. We want to unleash our potential to the maximum level so that we can able to create the high quality work. So the quality again, I'm defined that the ratio between what maximum I can able to contribute to the society, what actually I contribute. In that sense, I'm just yes, still I can able to, still I'm not able to unleash my maximum potential if you go for plagiarism. If you don't go for the plagiarism, I can able to produce to the maximum my level of potential. And I'm able to produce the highest quality of my work and demonstrate your commitment to the principle of intellectual honesty in scholarship. Yes. What is if you go for the plagiarism, which shows that you don't have the commitment towards your work, whatever the research work you're taking, or whatever the problem you want to solve that. So originality is again coming in terms of what is your commitment. So these are the things as there. So original thinking must be there, and what is the maximum potential you can able to unleash, and what is your commitment to solve the problem through your research. That is why you have to avoid the plagiarism. These are different forms of plagiarism. People identified that over the period of time. Whatever the list is not exact list. Still, you may find out something is missing also. That just I want to list it out. First one is the collaboration or collation is there. When you do the research collaborative with your colleagues or somebody else, you have to be very clear about what is your contribution, what is your collaborator contribution. If you don't have that clarity in line, so this is I contribute, this is you have to contribute, that clarity must be very important. Otherwise, definitely, knowingly or unknowingly, the plagiarism will come into the picture. Second one is verbatim, word for word, the quotation without clear acknowledgements. Word by word, people copy. These are normally very normal, very obviously, people very commonly used to plagiarism is there. And cutting and pasting from the internet. So when you take it from the internet, definitely you have to tell the source as well as retrieved from which source and which date time you have to mention, because we do not know that when this website has been updated, what's the last update, we do not know that. So whatever the content available on the internet, we don't have any credibility, or we can't verify the credibility of the information available in the website. So when you take any information from the internet, you have to be very clear about, you have to cross verify the credibility, and you have to clearly mention that this is the information I retrieved from this website on such a date and such a time. If you include this date and time, that is well and good. Again, this is paraphrasing is another uh, type of plagiarism, that people just copy down, altering the few words or five keywords. People go and find out, you want to replace the keywords, so that when you put it into the software may not detect. These are the things people very cheaply doing. That is why this plagiarism is coming up on that. And second is the inaccurate citation is there. That is very another important, that people take it from the internet, take it from some other resources, my sources. Then they could sometimes they could not find out the right kind of citations. So inaccurate citations. If suppose if I take some information from one website or one research work, that research work may be referred to some other X. If suppose I'm referring X article will refer the Y articles. But if you go to this Y article, I could not find out where the Y article is there. So in that sense, you have to be very clearly mentioned that which citation you want to put it. That's why people that derive from the secondary text, you have to clearly give. So that's why I give the example. This Bradshaw D title of book discussed in Wilson title of book London. So these are two secondary text also, secondary reference also you have to quote. And failure to acknowledge assistance. So if you write the book, definitely the people will give one complete page for the acknowledgement. who are all the people completely working on create and publishing the book. But when you coming to the research article, some other type of research book, we may not give importance to the people, those who are assisting to complete the work. So who are all the people assist to complete your work? Some place definitely you have to give the acknowledgement, or even a citation is possible, or acknowledgement is very, very important for people who help you to complete the work. That's very, very, even if it is your family members, please acknowledge them. Nothing wrong in that. And use of material written by professional agencies or other professional agencies. If you talk about that, say talk about this UNESCO report is there, McKinsey report is there, PricewaterhouseCoopers report is there, World Bank report is there. These are the report already people created and published in their respective website. When you take that reference, not only you refer the content available, that content may be that content may be having the citations, right? But we are taking from this World Bank report. So we have to give acknowledgement or citation for the content where it has been cited, as well as to the World Bank. So agencies. So two citations we have definitely give. People conveniently what they're taking, suppose I'm taking some article or some content from this World Bank report, definitely that article has citations. So people conveniently quote only that citation. They forget to quote the World Bank citations. So that is why that is also leads to the plagiarism, because we are taking that content and as well as that citation from the World Bank report or McKinsey report, whatever the report is there. So the agencies also we have to include in the citations. This auto plagiarism, yes. So I have done so many work. Definitely, I can refer my own work. People fail to acknowledge our own work, that we call it as auto plagiarism. So whenever you take some of the content or citations from your own work, it is necessary, it is obvious, you have to quote your own citation also. That's very, very important. That we call it as the auto plagiarism. So these are the different types of plagiarism available there. And again, I just gone through one of the website called ilovephd.com is there. You can also refer that they have listed out some 10 different types of plagiarism is there. So again, I'm telling that I refer www.ilovephd.com. I've taken these 10 type of plagiarism from that website. I'm just giving acknowledgement. The first one they talking about this clone plagiarism is there. So one example they beautifully they can taken. One example they have taken the source of work and what is a plagiarism. So same example they are giving for all the 10 types of plagiarism beautifully. So please go to that ilovephd.com website. You can easily identify what is type of different types of plagiarism with one same example they are giving that beautifully they are given that. Just go through it. So just first one is I'm just they are telling that this is a clone plagiarism. That is word by word they copy it. See, this is the original work and this is a plagiarism. Second type they put the remix plagiarism. That is one person collects information from various sources and mixed together as a single document that claims that their work is there. So I have collected the information from 5 different sources on topic. I created a one single document from this one paragraph from number one, two second paragraph from another website, third paragraph from another website. So I formulated 5 different paragraphs. Then all the 5 paragraphs I claim that my own work. This we call it as a remix without giving any citations. Third one, control C plagiarism. Everybody knows it's very simple. The control C, control V. Simply just copied text lines, paragraph, whatever it may be that. If you make it control C and control V, then that call it as the control C plagiarism is there. Without even any small alterations, right? Hybrid plagiarism people talking about. So perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged as a new document without citation. See, perfectly cited source documents are copied and arranged in a new order without citation. That they call it as this hybrid plagiarism. Find replace plagiarism. This is what another simple. So go to this, prepare a document, then you give it to the plagiarism software that will show that will show where this plagiarism is there. then people what normally do that they will find out the vocabulary, alternative vocabulary. They find out the what is the alternative vocabulary, then replace the word. So find and replace using the different kind of synonyms words, different vocabularies. That is also comes under find replace plagiarism. Recycle plagiarism. Recycling is again once called that. That is self-plagiarism. Yes, I have 5 years before I published one paper. From that, I can take something. 3 years before I published my own paper, I take something. Last year, I published one paper. I take something on that. So all together, I make all these things. Already, I published. I collected information from my own previous publication and creating something new without even my own proper citation. That we call it as the recycle plagiarism exclusively from my own work. Even I am taking from my own work, I don't want to give citation. If I give citation, people knows that this is the old work. That is why they don't want to show their proper citation. Mashup plagiarism, seventh one people talk about this. So when the written document is copied from more than one source and all are mixed without any proper citation. Again, this is collecting different information from that and without any citations. And 404 error plagiarism. This is very commonly available. I mean, it comes in when you check if this plagiarism is there. What is that? If the citation is inaccurate or it will lead to non-existent resources, then it will call the 404 type of plagiarism. So people will give the citation. Actually, the citation is not exist. So without existing any kind of citation, people create something fake of citation. If you want to check that citation, that will show the error that 404 errors plagiarism. This is another type. And aggregator plagiarism is another one. Is that? So the written document includes all the proper citation, but it does not contain the original work. So and sometimes it may not have the relevant what are the document I have and what is the citation is. There is no connection between connectivity between the content I am present here and the citation I mentioned. The 10th one is retweet plagiarism. If all the written document seems perfect with the properly cited marks, but still the document resembles somewhere the original text structure or wordings. So this easy people, the expert people will easily identify that. So if all document is there, everything is there, all is perfectly, but expert people with the blink of an eye, the moment they just scan the document, they can able to say that no, it seems to be something somewhere the same kind of document somewhere available. I have seen that. So that expert people with the blink of eye, they can easily identify the resemblance. Resemblance is very important in this type of plagiarism. So if you go to that website that ilovephd.com, they are given the 10 different types of plagiarism. The beauty of that website is that they have taken one example and with one example, they have given their exam, they will demonstrate how the different 10 types of plagiarism is there. That's the beauty of that. That's why I choose that. I've gone through so many websites, but I choose this to present here only for that reason. One example demonstrate with the 10 different types of plagiarism. Beautifully, they are organized it. Now, coming to the next part of this is a very important part. I feel that why people do plagiarisms. So, what are the qualities if the researchers having these kind of qualities? Then they need not go for the plagiarism. They can easily avoid the plagiarism. They need not think about the plagiarism also. So, what are the qualities? So first, again, before going to that, I want to again start from the scratch. So I want to define what is research. So out of my own experience, I defined research scientifically and logically solve the problems with the document evidence. So with the document evidence only the plagiarism come into the picture. Not only the document evidence, the logical sequence, the methodology also people will copy. So scientifically and logically solve the problems with the document evidence. The The emphasis is that the solutions must be acceptable by local stakeholder. That is very, very important when you solve the problems. So what is the problem may be same. So problem in India, if I solve the problem in India, if I solve it, the same methodology, same solution may not be applicable to Sri Lanka, may not be applicable to Vienna. It's not possible. That's why I use the word solution must be acceptable by the local stakeholders. Then only we can, that the solution will be validated. Then only the solution will be worthwhile. So you have to be very careful that even if you solve the same problem in one place, the same methodology, same solution may not be applicable to in different places. So this definition out of my own experience, scientifically, logically solve the problems with the document evidence. Now we'll go by one. Scientifically, logically, what is that? And problems, solve the problems. What is the problem? How to solve the problem? What is the document evidence? We'll see one by one so that you can be able to understand how I coined my definition. Scientifically and logically, what I'm talking about scientifically and logically is that subject domain. Subject, in your subject domain, do you attain the personal mastery? That's very, very important that if you do not attain the personal mastery in your subject domain, definitely you will always looking for the plagiarism. If you attain the personal mastery in your subject domain, you need not think about the plagiarism. That's what I want to think about scientifically and logically. So the first qualities I expect that every researchers must attain the personal mastery in their respective subject domain. Okay, how to attain the personal mastery? So personal mastery, I take the reference from this revised Bloom's taxonomy. So two things I took it. That is, one is the metacognition, another is the cognitive process. That is the thinking process. As you know, I don't know how. As you know that people may not know that this revised Bloom's taxonomy having the 6 different thinking levels are there. The highest level of thinking process we call it as the create. We'll see. So the combination of highest knowledge called metacognition and highest thinking process called create, if you match together, you will attain the personal mastery in subject domain. Will explain one by one. So again, I took this reference from this revised Bloom's taxonomy. See, if I want to go to the highest level of knowledge, there are so many ways are there. I took this as a reference for me. Okay, so this is the knowledge dimension of Bloom's revised taxonomy. So we have here 4 different types of knowledge respected to the subject domain. The first one is the factual knowledge. Factual knowledge is the all the basic information. Suppose my subject domain is history. So what are the basic information one professionals are expected to know from the history subject? That we call it as the factual knowledge. All the factual information, that is all the basic fundamental theorems, laws, informations, every professionals are expected to retain in the long-term memory. That's very, very important. That why when I solve the problem, I have the ability to recollect the all basic informations from my long-term memory. That is why the factual knowledge, that is the basic information about the particular subject domain, every professionals are expected to store in the long-term memory. When I solve the problem, I have the ability to retrieve the information from my long-term memory, which help me to solve the problem. That's the first level of knowledge, factual knowledge. Second one is the conceptual knowledge. What is the conceptual knowledge? See, for example, if you take a demand supply theorem, demand, what is demand? What is supply? What is demand? Demand is one variable, supply is one variable. What is demand related to the factual knowledge? What is supply is related to the factual knowledge. Unless I know what is demand, what is supply, I cannot create the concept. So what is the concept? Concept is interconnectivity between the demand and supply. Interconnectivity between the two variables, that we call it as the concept. That we call it as the conceptual knowledge. So once I'm mastering all the factual knowledge, then only I can able to develop the conceptual knowledge. So when I have the two variables, the complexity of the concept is less complexity. When I have more variable, the complexity is more, high complexity. As education system is the highly complex, because so many variables are playing in picture. It's very difficult to understand what is the interconnectivity between the so many variables in education system. Just think about your subject domain in history, on physics, on chemistry, whatever it may be, that what is the concept, what is the interconnectivity between that we call it as the conceptual knowledge. Third one is the procedural knowledge. Procedural knowledge is that how to accomplish a particular task step by step. That we call it as a procedural knowledge. Because when we want to solve the problem, we must know how to solve the problem step by step. So procedural knowledge is how to accomplish a particular task step by step. This is again related to the skill component of the individuals, researcher. So what is the skill? Skill, if you talk about that many times people think skill is different, knowledge is different. No. If I want to talk about the skill, people always refer the procedural knowledge. When I talk about the skill, procedural knowledge is embedded in the skill. So when I can able to attain, master the procedural knowledge, to master the procedural knowledge, I have to master the factual knowledge, I have to master the conceptual knowledge, then only I can able to master the procedural knowledge in my subject domain. So that is why I use the word hierarchy. Hierarchy, that's the meaning of that. So this factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge are sub-domain specific, subject specific. The conceptual knowledge or procedural knowledge in one subject totally different from another subject. It will vary from subject to subject. These three knowledge, factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, are subject domain specific. When coming to the metacognitive knowledge, that is not domain specific, that is altogether different. So if I attain, say, suppose if I want to publish a book, if I want to do a research on a particular topic, I should know the factual knowledge of the topic. I should know what is the concepts involved in that particular topic. I have to master in it the procedural knowledge of the topic. If I all these three things I master in it, I can easily avoid the plagiarism. I can easily avoid the plagiarism. So apart from this third level, one has to attain the fourth level. That is the metacognitive knowledge is the highest level of knowledge. What is that metacognitive knowledge? So metacognitive knowledge essentially means cognition about cognitions. So I should aware about myself, how I think about a particular problem. I should know how I think about a particular problem. What is my thinking strategy? I should know how thought my what is my thought process. Suppose if a problem is given to me, how I thinking about that problem, I should know about that. And knowledge about knowledge are reflections about actions. So it completely reflection about the individual self reflections. I should know, completely know about myself. What is the knowledge I possess, how I think, what is my thought process. All these things I should aware about myself. That is the highest level of that. When you go to the highest level, you have to master the factual knowledge, you have to master the conceptual knowledge, you have to master the procedural, then only I can able to go for the highest level. So I should know, learn how to learn. If a new subject is coming to me, new topic is come to me, I should learn how to learn. If I do not know learn how to learn, then I will always look for the plagiarism. Always look for the plagiarism. Okay. So we'll go a little bit what is this metacognitive knowledge is there. Or otherwise I put it in one simple sentence, what is metacognitive knowledge? I should know what I know. I should know what I do not know. I should not act as if I know everything. Then if I act as if I know everything, I always look for the plagiarism. If I accept that I do not know, no, I do not know this, and if you have the willingness to learn something new, definitely you can able to avoid the plagiarism. So the metacognition, put it in two different categories. One is metacognitive knowledge, another is the metacognitive regulations. So what is the knowledge I'm talking about? Metacognitive knowledge. Knowledge about the persons, knowledge about the task, knowledge about the strategies, different strategies. When I solve the problems, I should know who are the people involved in it. I had thorough knowledge about the who are the people involved in it. What are the different tasks I have to complete? That's a procedural knowledge. Knowledge of the different kind of task to solve the problem. And knowledge about the strategy. What is my plan A? What is my plan B? What is my plan C? Then only I can able to solve the problem. Okay. Then again coming to this knowledge about the persons, that because ultimately at the end of the day you are dealing with the human beings. That is why this metacognitive knowledge ultimately deal with the knowledge of the persons. So knowledge of the persons, what do you know about yourself? First is self-knowledge, self-reflection. What I know about myself. Second, what I know about others when I'm dealing professionally with the people with me. And what I know about the universals. Universals means I'm talking about when you're working in the university, what you know about how the university system is working. When you apply your research paper to some Scopus indexed journals, what you know about what is the policy of the particular journal. When you apply for the research fund agencies, what you know about the research funding agencies, what is their purpose, what is their objectives. So that I call it as a universe. So when it is related to some agencies, related to the university, it related to the research journal paper, whatever you think about that. Unless you have the complete knowledge about yourself, the people who are working with you and people you work with the different agencies, it is very difficult to produce the original work. It is very difficult to produce the creativity. Second is the strategies. That is, what is this? Metacognition is the regulations. So what is your planning? Planning, it may have again is coming to this plan A, plan B, plan C. Whether this plan A is not working, can I have the plan B? And monitoring, when you do the activities, how closely you are monitoring? What is your monitoring strategy about your work? And evaluating whether after the completion, stage by stage, are you evaluating your work? Whether it is goes according to your plan or not, and do you have the control over your work. So these are the things very very important, that all together we call it as a metacognitive knowledge. If any one of the component of this is missing or you are not able to develop over the period of time, definitely we look for the plagiarism, because this is the gap. This is the gap. So which I am not I have not practiced my competency to develop this particular areas. Naturally I forced to go for the plagiarism. This is one point, one particular things. Okay. So second one is, as you know that this again I take the reference from this thinking process or creativity from the Bloom's revised taxonomy. I call it as the higher order thinking skills. So there are six major thinking processes there, and 19 subdivisions of thinking process is there. So when I want to solve the problem, I have to think in 19 different ways. Unless I am mastering in 19 different ways of thinking process to solve a particular problem, unless I am mastering in 19 different ways of thinking process, when a problem is given to me, I have to choose out of 19 thinking process, which thinking process I have to start to solve this particular problem. So step one, I have to think on 14th thinking process. Step two, I have to go for the thinking process numbers 5. Step 3, I have to go to the thinking process 16. So this is the order you have to think. What are the order? Because depending upon the thinking process and the problem you want to solve it. So again, in your subject domain, do you have the 19 thinking process of how to about your subject, your topic to solve the particular problem? That matters a lot. Okay, see in this that again, the first one is remembering. The second one is understanding the concept. Third one is application of your knowledge, understanding the concept in two different situations, known situation, unknown situations. And again, the fourth one is the analysis. When the problem is given, do you have the ability to analysis and evaluate When the problem is given to you, do you have the ability to evaluate the problem, break down into different parts? And finally, do you have the ability to create a new solution to the problem which has not so far created that solution? That originality, this creativity is coming in the picture. So when we are not developing this 19 thinking process with respect to Bloom's taxonomy, I don't say this is the only way to do that. I just took it this because this is the systematic way of developing the thinking process. I took it. If you have any other thinking process, highly creativity is well and good. You can go ahead. There's no restriction at all, right? So this is if I don't create the thinking process. All suppose I have developed over the period of time only 9 thinking process. I don't create the 10th or 11th. Definitely I look for the plagiarism. So this, if you want to avoid the plagiarism, slowly develop this step by step in a structured manner, all the 19 thinking process, so that you can easily avoid the plagiarism. Yeah, I want to put it in a table where how this knowledge domain and this thinking process. I want to put it to this is in a simple matrix that the factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedure, knowledge domain in these rows and thinking process in columns. I put it to that, and intersection of the remember and factual knowledge. I call it as the ability or talent, and intersection of the understand and conceptual knowledge, you call it as the capability, and application of the procedure knowledge, I told you the skill is required to solve the problem. And from the same level, procedural knowledge is there, but I move this thinking process from applied to the analysis. I call it as the competence. And again, under procedural knowledge, I move into thinking process. I evaluate. I put it as your strength. Your strength. The strength is how often you can repeatedly do the same activity with the minimum effort or without effort. But every time you do repeat the same activity, you can produce a lot of improvement. That I call it as a strength. That only you can able to achieve at the evaluation level. And finally, and the metacognitive intersection of this metacognitive level and create, I call it as the personal mastery. So if you attain this personal mastery, totally you can avoid the plagiarism. Your mind will not think about the plagiarism at all. So that I call it as the personal mastery. So across this matrix, you can come from ability, first step, capabilities, and skill, develop competency, develop strength, and personal mastery. So I always used to put this word, find out what is your ability, find out what is your talent, and find out what is your capabilities. Find out your skill and practice the skill repeatedly. From the practicing skill, you can go to develop competency and find out what is your strength and strengthen your strength further. Strengthen your strength further, and finally attain your personal mastery. So this is the formula I used to tell. Develop the competency, strengthen your strength, attain your personal mastery. Completely avoid plagiarism. Now, I'm talking about this problems. Now, see, we have, scientifically and logically solve the problems. Scientifically and logically, we discuss about the personal mastery. What is that? Now, solve the problems. So problems, yes, every subject domain has n number of problems, but I want to just list out, I want to share some of the common problems as of today, the entire world is facing that. The entire world is currently facing aging population is one of the biggest problem. Aging population is the one of the biggest problem entire world is facing. How to handle the aged people. Second is climate change. Everybody knows that. And digital transformation is every day the new technology is coming up, right? People find it difficult to adapt. People try to difficult to understand what is the digital transformation is happening all over the world. And of course, this one of this artificial intelligence is like our mobile phone. How we can't imagine our life without our mobile phone. Similarly, we can't imagine our day-to-day activities, our professional work, our personal work without artificial intelligence. And and of course, ultimately, what is the mental health and well-being? So the mental health and well-being is one of the biggest problem people are facing all over the world, especially after this pandemic still is going on. And what is the cost and standard of living? How is continuously is linearly it is increasing our cost and standard of living. Of course, finally talk about cost and quality of education also is a big question mark is there. So just I listed out only 7 problems all over the world. Every people are facing this. There are so many problems locally, regionally is available that. So it is our responsibility as researchers to solve the problems. First, you solve the local problem. First, you solve the regional problem. And so, why I come to the international problems? Why I am talking about these 7 important problems, irrespective of your subject domain, every researchers have the responsibility to solve these problems. Or the if you take any one of the problem, all the subject domain people together, we want to solve this particular problem. Climate change, there is no one subject domain cannot solve the aging problem. There is not possible for one subject domain cannot solve the climate change. So that's why I'm talking put it this all the 7. One the subject domain people cannot solve the cost and standard of living. So as a researchers, once we attain the personal mastery, we together come together, different domain experts come together and solve this society problem. So that's why people talking about this multidisciplinary, and next level talking about the transdisciplinary. So transdisciplinary is now the current domain of people talking about that. So multidisciplinary means different experts in the different field come together, join together to solve this world problem, right? So coming, these are the problems is there. Now, what is this? In the problem solving, first step, as you know, that problem identification. So problem solving skill, the one of the 21st century skills people talking about very widely, but people don't talk about this problem identification skill. So problem identification skill is the first step for to solve any kind of problem is there. So if you're able to describe the people's problem better than they can, definitely they will come to you. You can able to demonstrate that you have the solution for the problem. So what is that required? That if you don't have the ability to describe the problem, people's problem better than they can, then we are always going for the plagiarism. Now, problem solving, yes, you know that problem representation is there. Build a mental representation of the problem. Any problem coming to you, just think about in the thinking. That's why I told you that. Uh, just I told you about that this metacognition and creativity. Create is there. No, the metacognition is that how what is your thinking process. You should know about that. That is why this problem representation is there, and problem solution again connected with your metacognition and thinking process. How you devise the problem. Solution of the problem. What is the plan A? What's the plan B? What is the strategy? What is the methodology? All these things mentally have to arrive that. Then you try one by one which methodology, which plan you can able to solve the solutions. Once first you start that problem identification, take the next step to solve the problem. Then step by step you can able to understand that whether your plan is going according to that, or on the way do you want to do any change of action. Definitely you have to do that and finally solve the problem is there. So problem solving is another, the framework of definition also is there. When before solving the problem, first you have to, from the problem statement, you have to define what is the goal you want to achieve that by to solve the problem. So achieving a goal that professionals have never previously achieved, and of figuring out how to change a situation from its given state to into a goal state. So these are the very, very important 2 steps to solve the problem. If you do not know these 2 states, then again we always think we want to copy from somebody else. We want to copy from somebody else. So please kindly try to develop these two stage of how to when solving the problem, you completely gonna able to avoid the plagiarism. And again, this problem solving there are which involves three major things. Is one is this purpose. Why do you want to solve the problem? Why do you want to do research? That matters a lot. If you are not very clear about the purpose, why do you want to do research? It's very difficult. You cannot have the commitment. Then you always look for the plagiarism. Why? So can you have any one genuine reasons beyond making money? So I want to solve this problem beyond making money. Why? You have to identify the reason for that. If I have the reason purpose why I want to do research beyond making money, making money, then definitely you have the creative 100% original work will come out. Most of the time we do research only for our university is demanding, because as a researcher, as a professor, you have to publish the highly indexed journals. You have to do because the system demands. That is why I'm doing research. If you do the research because the system demands, your originality or creativity will not come out. You just think about the people in your own professional circles, the people those who don't care about this system demands, and because of I'm doing research, those people only can able to create their own original work. They have the highest full of creativity. They can able to unleash their maximum potential. So if you want to avoid the plagiarism, first to find out that why do I want to do research beyond making money? If you find the reason, your 100% potential will come, 100% originality will come, 100% creativity will come out. So please find out what is your purpose beyond making money. Second one is a belief system, because uh, in the research, when talking about the plagiarism, this belief system plays a major role. Why I'm talking about that belief system, how I see the world through my lens of eyes, that we call it as a belief system. Belief system and value system both are interconnected. That's why I take this belief and value system also. So belief system is how I see the world through my own eyes. What is my own eyes? From the childhood days, from at the age of two, the research says that how the belief system of the individuals build. People as researchers find out that researchers says that from the age of 2 till your teenage, what are the areas you are exposing, in which area you are exposing, what are the things you are seeing. Based upon that only, in your brain, the nerve system, these nerves are having the connections. They call it as the synaptic connections. Artificial intelligence people know about that. So the synaptic connections being made at the age of 2, from the age of 2 till the age of 22 or 25 is happening like that. So once the synaptic connections is happening, that will become your belief system. It is very difficult to break the neurons synaptic connections, and you have to create the new neurons synaptic connections is very, very difficult unless you consciously do that. So that's why this system. So belief system, this is there. Belief system has been accumulated because of your age, from through your experience over the period of time, and this is what I am seeing this. Because based upon my belief system only, I have my thought process, my assumptions are there. Okay, so and this see what I see is that based upon that, because of the belief system only, I can do my actions will be do that. Because of my actions, I'm getting the result. So these are all interconnected that. And many a times even this FTB program, we focus on at the doing action point of only we're doing this. Any kind of training programs, any kind of improvement, all these things, 95% we focus on this doing activities. I want to change my attitude, I want to change my behavior, I want to do the methods, I want to do the different technique, I want to train the people, all these things. Nothing will work out unless you change the base is your belief system. So what I expect from your participant, that after completion of this training program, is there any one belief system my presentation change? It is highly successful, I am very highly successful. So all these my this discussion is, I want every individual's belief system to be changed. Then only your action will change, then only your result will change. So how do I change my belief system? There are two ways you can able to change the belief system. Otherwise, it's very difficult unless you are very conscious to change this nerves, the synaptic connections is very difficult. So if you travel widely and closely observe the different people culture, different people behavior, definitely your belief system will change. And second is, you have to read a lot of different genre of books. So reading different genre of books will definitely completely change your belief system. So if you want to change your belief system, you have to travel widely. Not only travel, you have to closely observe the people, their culture, their behavior, so that your basic belief system will change. Second one is, you have to read the different genre of books, because every author have bringing their own experience to through the books. So reading the different genre of books, not only your subject domain books, different genre of books, that will completely change your belief system. Unless you change your belief system, your action will not change, your result will not change. That's why I use the word, if you want to change the fruit, change the root. Right? So what next I want to talk about this value system. What is a value system? A belief system. So we have to be very careful about the belief system. What do you believe in? What do you believe in with respect to the plagiarism? This is very important question you have to ask. So what do you believe in research paper? What do you believe in solving the problem? What do you believe in earning money? So these are all the things, questions you have to ask yourself to develop your own metacognitive knowledge. So next one is the value system. What is a value system? I follow that. So I've done a lot of research on this value system. We have the limited literature on bad values. That is, if you follow the bad values, these are all the consequences. We have only limited literature on this. You can't find even one single literature on, if you follow the good value system, you will reward like this. Not even single literature is available. That is why this value system is not popularly, not discussed enough. Not discussed enough. So what is a value system is, which activity I want to give. Value system is nothing but how you give the priorities through your belief system, through your belief system, right? So this bad value system is purely based upon your external events. That's why I asked the question, why do you want to do the research beyond making money? If you do the research for making money, that is the bad values. If you do the research for some cause without beyond making money, that will become good values, because achievement from the inner self you want to do. See, I want to help the people, I want to solve the problem. That is a good value system. So this is some examples I gave is for bad values: dominance, manipulation again comes in the plagiarism. Violence, indiscriminate, feeling good all the time, yes, always being center of the attention, not being alone, being liked by everybody, being rich for the sake of rich. These are all the some examples for the bad value system. Coming to the good value system, honesty, again coming to the academic honesty. Innovation, how innovation comes? Because we are bringing something new, original. And vulnerability, you are always ready for the vulnerability, then only you can able to create something new, creativity will come. And standing up for oneself and standing up for others, self-respect, curiosity, charity, creativity, all these things, good value system. So find out that what type of value system you are following. If you follow, definitely all people have the combination of good values and bad values. Now please identify, if you follow any bad values, please try to change it into the good values, so that automatically you can leverage your full potential. Automatically your creativity will come, automatically your original thinking will come. You can easily avoid the plagiarism. Now, the synchronization is very, very important. What is that? What is my belief system? What is my value system? I am following that. What is my purpose? Why do I want to do the research? And my subject domain and the personal mastery. All the things should be synchronized with each other. The frequency must be matched each other. Then you are able to create 100% your original work. 100% you can able to original work. If any one is missing, that gap, naturally, psychologically, you are forced to go for the plagiarism. Psychologically, you can force to go for the plagiarism. So these are the things I can able to identify the things. So next one is I don't know this whether I put this slide or not, but of course I want to emphasize on that also that. So language proficiency is very, very important. That whatever the language you are writing the research papers or anything, that in that language are you mastery. That's very, very important, especially on writing mastery. So again, I refer the back slides. What the personal mastery in writing. Personal mastery in writing. So what is the talent or ability you have? What is the skill you have developed? What is the competency in writing in your own, in your language? What is the strength in your writing? That what is the personal mastery you are attained in writing in the language, in the particular language? So you have to think about that. So language proficiency in any one of the, which language you want to do that, especially on the writing. Do you have the personal mastery in writing? Writing is one of the important activity in any particular language. Do you attain the personal mastery? If you're not attaining the personal mastery, again you look for the plagiarism. Again you look for the plagiarism. Coming to this, reading the different genre of books is very important. I told you, not only for changing your belief system, and moreover, not only for that, if you read different genre of books, you can able to identify what is the different stories people are talking about, what is the different ideas they are discussing, different, what is the different concepts the different authors are discussing, different genre of books, what is the principles they've created, what are the reference framework they've created, what is the point of view they are discussing. All these things you can able to get it from if you read different genre of books. This will help you to work your originality. If you read different genre of books, always it gives you different ideas. So you have the problem in your subject domain, or solve the problem in your local regional local problem, regional problem, international problems. If you read different genre of books, definitely it will help you to produce the 100% original work. Creativity, it improve the creativity, and it unleash your maximum potential. So if you did not write it yourself, you must give credit. There is no second thought on it. There is no second thought on it, right? And this, coming to this importance of the academic integrity. So maintaining the academic integrity goes beyond avoiding plagiarism, because it involves your honesty. What is the value system you're following? It gives the respect for your own work, respect for others' work, and definitely it will help you to give the personal growth. Personal growth is very, very important in that. By doing your own work and properly attributing others, you are not just following the rules and regulations, you are developing the critical thinking and problem solving thinking, so that you can able to solve more problems, you can able to help the human being make the world well-being. So this is this finally, that if you want to avoid the plagiarism, you have to unleash your maximum potential, you have to do the creativity work. These are very, very important. That this is the area, just I did little bit research why people want to go for the plagiarism. Just I found out these are the areas. If you, these are the areas very strong enough, you can, your mind will not think about the plagiarism. You can able to produce 100% original real work. So thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity given to me.
Could you please close your screen, sir? Sir, could you please close the screen, your PPT? It is still visible. Stop sharing, that's the button.
Yeah.
It is still there, sir. Yes, it is. Thank you so much, sir. Very timely, and especially we live in a world where we are depending upon digital technology and artificial intelligence. And then reports about plagiarism by Turnitin software. It is actually on the rise, and we live in a different world, and we have to really speak a lot about this plagiarism. And you can see in the chat box, I think more than 100 appreciation already, and throughout your talk also they were actually putting a lot of messages about the importance of your presentation, and also your presentation was rich with good content, and also your expertise and knowledge. So thank you really so much. And I was actually coming across two different words. One is actually uh, you also mentioned about this language proficiency.
Yes, yes.
And I was actually coming across this translation plagiarism
Yes.
and also self plagiarism. So would you like to
Yes,
share
self,
something
yes, yes.
about both of them, sir? Translation plagiarism and self plagiarism.
Sorry, my battery got down. Sorry.
It's okay, sir.
Sorry, ma'am.
You mentioned about language proficiency.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was just reminded of translation plagiarism and
yeah.
also self plagiarism.
Yes, yes.
So you like to say something about both of them?
Yeah, the language. First one is self plagiarism.
Or
See,
translation plagiarism.
yeah, when coming to the translation again, yes, translation coming to translation plagiarism, people don't have the sufficient choice of words and vocabulary. One thing, and second thing is they don't have this reading habits. That is why they are not able to express the same thing in different manners. If I read different genre of books, same how the people are expressing that concept, expressing the putting the different coining the words into the sentence. We don't have the sufficient practice for that in any language. If you take it, whatever the language is there, so that is why they find it very difficult to express the ideas in the sentence. They don't find it difficult. And self
Thank
plagiarism, yes, people say that. It is my own work previously. I see 5 years back, something I published. Same thing, some concepts or some ideas, I took it to the new work I'm doing that. Kind of mindset is that why I want to cite my own work. That's only the mindset. Why? Where people think that I have to cite only the others' work, not mine. We don't. I think people don't have the awareness of it. That's why people don't do this. They don't cite their own work.
Thank you, sir. And in the context of increasing digital access and AI generated content, how can the higher education institutions practically encourage students and faculty to value original work and avoid plagiarism, not just out of fear of detection, but as a matter of academic integrity and personal responsibility?
See, plagiarism. The AI tools will not do creativity.
Yes.
So creativity is belong to me. My idea is there. My idea, the expression of my idea may be in different format. AI may help, but it's my responsibility to check whether the AI is correctly, rightly representing my idea, or it gives different meanings. That so the AI should not do the creativity work. The creativity only human being are doing that. But when I ask the AI, artificial intelligence, to express my ideas in different 10 different formats, definitely it will give 10 different formats. But it's my responsibility to tell out of the 10 different whether the meaning, what I mean, is represented or something is changed. It's my responsibility, not the responsibility of AI. In that sense, you have to be very careful about that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think from the participant side, there are around 21 questions. I think some of them you've already covered in your presentation.
Okay.
And I'll just pick up one or two for you. The first one is, how can we address the issue of plagiarism in online education? Nowadays, I think MOOC and then quite a lot of thousands of courses online available mainly for the working professional to upgrade themselves with regard to the modern world so that there is quality education. So this is about plagiarism in online education.
I
I
don't
think
think.
the entrance exam also for PhD admission, it is done online. So they're checking ChatGPT and
What are the examinations, online examination, even if you conduct, and when going for the personal interview, people easily identify whether you have the originality or not. They can easily identify it. So we can't completely rely on the online examinations or online evaluations. Definitely, we have to check with this in-person interview also. We should not have the 100% reliable on the online exam.
it has both advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe the first level we can use it for the elimination process. We can use it. When coming to the selection process, you have to do it personally.
correct. Thank you, sir. The next question, it is from Dr. Senko Tugelu. Very useful and informative. Some journals are accepting the plagiarism level as 10%, some other journals below 5%, some journals are 15% as permissible level. Can you comment on this?
Yeah, that's why I told you in the first subset, I told you, plagiarism, one department or university institution has to define. There is no one definition for plagiarism. So what is my policy? I have to tell. So each journal, they are telling their own policies. There's nothing wrong in it.
Okay, thank you, sir. And again, amazing presentation, very useful and informative. Excellent use of metaphors. Sir, I'm wondering whether so far scholars have been 100% original in their writings, and if not, what were the consequences they have faced when they were caught for plagiarism? About the consequences if they are caught with the plagiarism?
The consequences is ultimately goes, you can lose your job, you can't practice professionally, it will have that great damage.
The reputation
Yeah,
against
you
people.
can't continue in your job. Ultimately, you lose your job.
And once expelled from one institution, if there is background check, then life is gone forever.
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
And in today's world, technology, if it is mentioned somewhere in the a part of our profile,
Yes, yes.
that digital profile, I think it
Yeah.
will be damage done forever.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why. Okay. And someone is asking for your PPT, sir.
Yeah, definitely I'll share. If they WhatsApp me, I can share. No issues.
Okay.
I love
And
to share.
okay, sir. One question from Munnu Prashad. Future role of plagiarism in research with the AI. Can you comment on this?
Yeah, it's very difficult to predict future. So, do you think about it? Some 5 to 7 years back, anybody thinking about AI? We do not know that.
Yes, sir.
So,
And
the technology, anything new may come. Once we come, only we can able to understand that.
And so, do you know anything about the legal penalties for plagiarism in different jurisdictions?
Yes, yes, ma'am. That is a bad. That's why I'm telling that it's vary from. It comes under the policy document. So
Okay.
before you, if suppose if you want to submit any paper for the particular journal, you have to very thoroughly understand what is their policy, plagiarism policy. If you have to addressing for the applying for some funding agencies, you have to very thorough about what is their policy on that. It's vary from agency to agency. Before applying that, you have to be very careful about it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. The next one. Do I have to cite sources for every fact I use?
Yes, if anything you can take it from other people, not yours, you have to definitely cite it.
Correct. Thank you, sir. And I think almost we have answered all the questions, and some of the questions were in the chat box, and it really went up, and then I'm not able to pick it up. Yes, and a lot of appreciation for you.
Thank
And
you.
we have come to the closer of the session.
Thank
And
you.
I'm really grateful to you, and I would like to formally thank you. And on behalf of the organizing team, I extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. N. Asokan for your insightful and compelling presentation on plagiarism and academic integrity. Your deep knowledge, clarity of thought, and practical approach in addressing the times of plagiarism, the tools available for detection, and most importantly, the importance of fostering a culture of academic honesty have left a lasting impression on all of us. Your presentation not only enlightened us on the technical and ethical dimensions of academic integrity, but also reminded us of our shared responsibility as educators and researchers to uphold the highest standards. Thank you, Dr. Ashokan, for your
Thank
time,
you.
your passion for education, and for generously sharing your expertise with our international community. It has been an honor to have you with us today. And thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. Good night. Good night.
And it's time to wrap up the second day FTP now. We have come now to the end of day 2 of our international faculty development program on research ethics in higher education, jointly organized by Globethics South Asia and ENCA Sri Lanka. Today's session was both insightful and practical, and I take this opportunity to express our heartfelt thanks to our distinguished speaker, Dr. N. Ashokan, for his comprehensive and thought-provoking presentation on plagiarism and academic integrity. His deep experience and clarity have added great value to our learning journey. A warm thank you, as always, to Professor Prashanthi Narangoda, the Director NCASH, for her continued support and collaboration, and Dr. John Metusala, our course curator, whose thoughtful design continues to shape each day's learning. To all our participants joining us from across India and around the world, your active engagement, thoughtful questions, and commitment to ethical research practices continue to make this FDP a truly global and meaningful experience. We invite you to join tomorrow for day 3 beginning at 5:30 p.m. Indian time for yet another engaging session. Please remember that a minimum of 60 minutes of attendance is required each day for certificate eligibility. Thank you once again, and we look forward to welcoming you all back